All Bafetu, welcome back. Welcome to Dibalen Football Channel. Kaizer Chiefs Football Channel, football from the fans' perspective. We are back again. Today, we're speaking about just two things. We're speaking the updates towards the Mamelodi Sundowns game that is taking place tomorrow at FNB Stadium. And then we're speaking about the newly announced signing of Kaizer Chiefs by the name of Lebohang Maboe. So 2 hours back, or 1 hour 30 minutes back, Kaizer Chiefs announcing their social media platforms that they've made a signing. So they wrote, Lebohang Maboe returns to Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs has officially signed the midfielder Lebohang Maboe, marking their 10th acquisition of the current season. Welcome back to Kaizer Chiefs family. Welcome Maboe Amakosi for life. So yeah, that is just about the short message that was posted in the team's accounts. But what confuses me about this is the welcome Maboe's return, saying welcome back to the Kaizer Chiefs family, meaning he used to play, probably played in the development, structures of Kaizer Chiefs, but I don't remember him playing in the DDC. I don't really remember him. I know that he's a player that comes from Maritzburg, then from Maritzburg went to Mamelodi Sundowns. He's been in Mamelodi Sundowns for about 8 years, and then went to SuperSport as of recent. And yeah, that is about the signing. In terms of the player, he's 31 years old. He will be 31 years old, I think, in 2 weeks' time. He's 30 years old right now. He will be 31 years old in 2 weeks' time. He's spent almost, his career at Mamelodi Sundowns, but started 2016-17, played 26 games with Maritzburg, scored 2 goals. 17-18, 38 games with Maritzburg. 18-19, he played for. That's when he signed for Sundowns. Played 34 games, 8 goals for Sundowns. So that combines, the cup games and the league games. And then 19-20, 35 games combined, 4 goals. 20-21, 30 games, 2 goals. Then 21-22, only played 9 games for Mamelodi Sundowns combined. 22-23, played 7 games for Mamelodi Sundowns combined. 23-24, 16 games. And then 24-25, played 7 games in Mamelodi Sundowns and 15 games in SuperSport. That would... within the time he was playing for Mamelodi Sundowns, you can also add 45 games that he played for CAF Champions League international games. So you can see that there's a player that has been played a lot of games, but he's been, dropping, and most of it has been, due to injuries. And he's not played games. I think he has not played since the season 2020-2021, which would be COVID. Since then, he's not been playing football. The guy has been out, mostly out on injuries, and then comes back perhaps maybe the end of the season or beginning of the season, and then out. Until Mamelodi Sundowns decided to send him to SuperSport last season, which he played 15 games. I think that is when he was recovering. In terms of my view, he's a very good player, Lebohang Maboe. Everyone knows him in in PSL, South African football. I mean, he's been admired, I think, by many clubs, and also even ourselves. We enjoyed watching him even when he was playing for Coach Pito. He's a very, very good talent from Heidelberg. He's versatile as a player. Plays in the left wing, he plays in the right wing. He can play also centrally as a 10. He can also play as an 8. But if you remember, there's a season where Pito was even playing him as a right back. That's how confident and versatile he was. At that time, Pito used to play a lot of players in different positions. You'll remember Langeman. You'll remember different players would alternate in different positions. But he was one of the utility players for Pito Mosimane and a very trusted player for Pito Mosimane. I think his experience coming to Kaizer Chiefs will be very valuable. I've been arguing that the squad in Kaizer Chiefs really is young. It's too young, and it needs some players that are more matured, more experienced in the PSL, that can guide players like Mdu and Mfundo Duba, give them that kind of guidance, confidence. And Pule Modi is a very good player. He's a player that also provides that kind of experience, but I just don't think he's vocal enough. He's providing enough leadership to lift those players around him, to give them that kind of guidance that I think is needed up front. And I hope that Lebohang Maboe will bring that into the team, except the fact that is age 31. And then I would have hoped for a proper signing, honestly, in terms of those of the profile of the player I'm talking about, who can play forward, who can provide that kind of leadership and guide these new players. Kaizer Chiefs gives them confidence when they're not doing well. He's able to come in and there is no dip in terms of their performance. So Tembazwane obviously is not available. There's not much players like that in PSL right now that can come into Kaizer Chiefs at that age and provide that kind of leadership. Sereno on the other side is doing that job. I think is getting slow as well, but he's still a quality player. He gives that kind of confidence in the players, and I think and I hope that with Lebohang Maboe coming in, that will be an addition. But also one thing that I'm betting on, which really is a gamble, is the fact that the guy is really not been doing well in terms of his career. He's been disrupted by injuries, and I think he can use the signing into with Kaizer Chiefs as a motivation to prove himself, to prove that he's still there. He's still the player that we know him for, and he can still perform at the highest level in the country. And I'm very, very much hopeful about it. And I hope that another thing that is an issue that we must not downplay is the issue of injuries at Kaizer Chiefs. I hope that they will be able to manage him the same way Kaizer Chiefs, I think we've managed Sereno. Last season, Sereno was managed properly. Was allowed to play the critical games. When it's not needed, it's not needed. Or in certain games, he's brought in certain, times of the game, towards the end of the game, and we know that he can give us something at that point in time. But I trust the current, management of the team, the current staff, and technical team to be able to manage players that are injury prone. But we need to speak about injuries in Kaizer Chiefs as part of the update. So Coach Kazi, a few players had interviews yesterday or day before yesterday about the games, the game towards the game we're playing tomorrow of Mamelodi Sundowns, and he was asked about injuries. I think Aden McCarthy from the Richards Bay game is still out, and we're told he's still going to be out for quite some time. Rushwin Dortley is still out, and given Musmang. And those are the three strong center backs of Kaizer Chiefs. Right now, in terms of center backs, we are left with Miguel and Zitakwiniga, and I think that is very worrisome. And then you have players like Cross that can play in that position, even though I don't have much confidence in him. But we are told also that Cross is sick. Same as Nkanyiso Shinga, the left back that have been bought by Kaizer Chiefs, is also not well. We're told it's flu or something, and that is my problem right there. Igadora, we're told he just came back training with the team, but I doubt he will have that fitness. But also he came by the time he came, was also had injury issues. And then we have players like George Matlu that have not been playing at Kaizer Chiefs, come back, show signs of improvement, good player in him, and then it disappears through injuries. And that's one thing that I think we need to speak about. I don't think there's a crisis. I don't think there is reasons to be alarmed, but I think Kaizer Chiefs should look into their training, medical department, and fitness, conditioning, and just to ensure that players are taken care of. We had this, I think, if you are a Chelsea fan, you would know that Chelsea used to suffer with injuries, and they've since had changes, they had improvements. Right now, it's just few players that are struggling. They are in, they are back, they are fine, like Romeo Lavia, and then he's out again. But I think it's things that need to be taken care of. I don't think there's reasons to worry. I heard a lot of fans, some fans saying, it looks like there's an issue with the medical department, and I don't think there's so much issue, considering the fact that Dortley would have been injured in a game. Given Msimango, I don't remember, but I know that Aden McCarthy was injured in a game, and the problem is that they're taking time to come back. You wouldn't want to rush it, because also Kaizer Chiefs has options. I think if there was problems in terms of depth at Kaizer Chiefs, there are options right now. I mean, you would have Miguel and Zita that in the center back, but also in the left back, you still have Marco, who's still there, who can come in and assist the team. So I don't think there's much problems and reasons to be worried about. In the midfield also we have enough. I don't know, I don't think the new players would really have a space to play in the game against Sundowns. I think there's issues of fitness with Velebai and Batman, still a case of appeals with Cape Town City. And then she's led, I saw him training with the team, but I doubt his fitness would would have improved enough for him to play with against Mamelodi Sundowns. But it would be good to see, them being given minutes. Because my biggest worry is that you don't want these players, the new players, not playing and sitting outside for a very long time, and then when they come in the middle of the season, they disrupt the rhythm of the team. They need to start with the team. Everyone needs to be integrated as soon as possible to build the combinations, to build the confidence amongst themselves, to build the relationships in the players. Ultimately, to a point where Kaizer Chiefs really has a squad and has proper depth on the bench. They were not, looking around and trying to get something around. And then we know that we're solid. Also in the striker position, I don't know what is happening with Moritz. Is either injured or sometimes just not playing. And I always had my issues with that signing, but I don't think that's part of what we need to talk about right now. Otherwise, I'm very confident tomorrow we'll be at the stadium. We're going to watch and support the biggest brand in Southern Africa. We're going to make sure we make the loudest noise. We support our boys, and I'm very much confident. Unlike the rest of other people that may think, Mamelodi Sundowns is going to trash us and all that, it's going to, it's going to be a walk in the park. I don't think so. I think Kaizer Chiefs has the players, has the necessary technical team, but also the boys have the spirit to win and compete against Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. So we've seen that at the end of the season. I think with an improved team right now that plays as a team, compact as a team, defensively in the midfield builds up, even though we have problems in terms of finishing. I think we have a team that can compete, and I don't think Sundowns does not scare me anymore. Otherwise, yes, so let me hear your predictions, your comments on what we spoke about today. But let me hear what you think about the game tomorrow. You think we stand a chance? You think we can win? And how do you think Kaizer Chiefs can approach the game to win? And I think, personally, on my side, I'm very confident. I know the approach in the game is that don't be too clumsy. Don't allow them to build up and have the ball in high up the pitch. If they have it next to their keeper, is fine. And set up those traps that we did in the cup game, in Nedbank Cup. Ensure that if there are times or opportunities for us to set the traps and be able to take the ball and turn over, you must do that. But one thing about Mamelodi Sundowns is that you get a chance, you must score. If you miss chances, you're going to cry. Orlando Pirates has shown us the formula. The boys of Orlando Pirates, they can suffer and they can compete and try, but when they get a chance, they punish those boys. Sibelebele punishes, and that is what has worked for them. And if we are going to do that, if we are going to perform the way we did even in the Nedbank Cup, Tuba gets a chance, finishes, we'll be fine against Mamelodi Sundowns. Otherwise, that's it for me. Let's see each other next time. I'm mccarthy for life.